Still from Men Foundation for Women and Children. Today we want to look into the reason why it's so difficult for people who are in abusive relationship to live. Why are they finding it difficult to live, even when they know that their lives are at risk? Why is it so difficult to quit? Number one is the marriage bond. The marriage bond is so strong. When you come into marriage, you have the feeling of love. Marriage is between two people who love themselves. Irrespective of the fact that there is traits of abuse in the other person. When you are going into marriage, people are wondering why Osinachi didn't quit that marriage. Osinachi didn't quit. She didn't leave because of the marriage bond. They shared good memories. Remember, abusers are not 100% monsters. They have their good side. They share their good memories, likewise the bad ones. So each time she is abused, the good memories plays in her mind. And she will, in one way or the other, sees that the abuser is not 100% monster and find a way to give excuses for the abuser. Number two, childhood experiences. If you grew up in an environment where there is abuse, a society where violence is accepted as the normal way of life, normal way of correcting women. In our culture today, a lot of people normalize beating of the wife. There was this video trending online some months ago whereby a daughter left the marriage to go home and the mother was like, go back to your husband's house. After all, I was abused by your father, though I never told you. If I had moved out of the marriage, I wouldn't have, brought you up. And she was asked to go back to the husband's house. That's how our culture has accepted domestic violence as the norm, as the people's way of life. If you grew up in a family where your father was beating your mother, I'm sure you will not see domestic violence as a reason to live, though the narrative is changing. Childhood experience. The experience somebody had as a child may have great impact in your life when you grow. Then it may have damaged her self-esteem, her self-worth, as she no longer has the power to say no to abuse. Number three, abusers and manipulators. They have their way of making you to believe that you are the one at fault. Meanwhile, the abuser, who sees this as a weakness, sees everything possible, tries everything possible to make you believe that you are wrong, that the person is reacting to curb your excesses. They will let you understand that you are stubborn. The way you spoke to me, that's why I'm hating you. And abusers are great manipulators. They are chameleons. They will come back to cry. They will come back to make promises which they will never keep. Promises that they will never apply so many strategies in order to keep their victims under them. They are great manipulators. If you are not trained to recognize them, if you are not trained to set your boundaries and affirm that boundaries must not be broken, abusers are great in breaking boundaries. They know how to break boundaries, start taking away your rights, your power to say no. How can a woman stay in a marriage where you are not allowed to visit home? How can you live in a marriage where you are not allowed to manage your finances? How can you be in a home, in a hell, bondage, in a marriage, and you don't want to leave? It's simply because the abuser has taken control of your life, of your power to recognize boundaries and assert boundaries. Abuser starts gradually. When she was about to marry, the abuser refused that the twin sister, is not going to be her chief bridesmaid. The twin sister recognized that this man is an abuser, started crying, but she was smiling to the altar, even in the face of violence. It didn't start today. That man has started gradually, taking away her power, taking away her self-worth, self-esteem, was shattered. No wonder anytime she goes out to minister, she is not happy. But people did not recognize that the self-esteem of this daughter of Zion has been shattered, that this daughter of Zion has been in bondage, that she was passing through something. Perhaps she was depressed severally and no one noticed it. Another point is that abusers will never let you go. Each time you plan to go, they will try their best to hold you. They will come to beg. They will bring people, your pastor, they will bring your friends to come and beg you. But when you come back, it is time for them to re-engage in order to finish you. So if you are in an abusive environment, in an abusive relationship, note that it's not going to be easy for you to walk away, but you can do something. You can at least report to the appropriate authorities. You can see a counselor who is going to work on you, who is going to bring out the courage to live in you, the courage to be determined to stop abuser. It takes a lot of courage to be able to walk away. It takes a lot of courage to make up your mind to stop the abuser before the abuser stops you. You are going to answer so many questions. I was watching Blessing CEO when she was telling her own story of how she walked away. Most people who walked away answered the 3 questions Blessing answered. Where am I going? A lot of people give excuses. I don't know where I'm going, because abusers will make sure they cripple you financially so that when you want to leave, you are living with nothing. Like Jesus told them, he said, when you are going, go with nothing. If your life is in danger, live with nothing. Make sure you leave. Don't bother where you are going. Definitely, you are going to find somewhere to be. You just need that space. Number 2, how am I going to start again? You will start from somewhere. It doesn't matter how you are going to start. It doesn't matter where you have gotten before. It's just like when you are building. Your building gets to the roofing stage and everything collapses. But will that stop you from starting again? No way. You are going to start somewhere. Your life is the most important thing. Prioritize your life. Another question you are going to ask yourself is, what will people say? This is one of the reasons why people don't like living abusive marriage. What will people say? What will my church members say? How are going to, they make you feel like without the title Mrs., you are incomplete. But that doesn't matter. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, people must talk. She was afraid of people judging her. She was afraid of the society condemning her. But now, are they not judging her? Even in her death, they are judging her. So no matter what you do, people must say something. When you want to leave, it is not time to start considering what are they going to say. If you do not want to be talked about, say nothing and do nothing.